Airbus has delayed its potential new upcoming aircraft, which is slated to be powered by hydrogen. AFP initially reported that the European manufacturer is facing challenges in developing a new commercial airliner using hydrogen. The development of this aircraft type is crucial for the manufacturer, which seeks to align with external and internal sustainability targets that focuses in on how aircraft are to be powered, say come the mid-2030s and beyond. Fresh delays to the program are a setback for what analysts had long been predicting. Endeavours such as these taking place at Airbus are never expected to be easy. However, there's always that hope that timelines will be met internally despite the challenges. Many of your new-gen aircraft that aim to redefine commercial flight heavily rely on the persistent development of new technologies. And the reality is we live in a pretty complex world and a complex operating environment for many of these companies. That does mean that at certain points, the development of these technologies is not advancing at the rate that maybe a manufacturer would ideally like. And unfortunately, given that these technologies are relatively new, there's also delays, costs incurred, and a lack of progression. This will more often than not lead to program delays, and that is what we are seeing with this Zero-E or hydrogen-powered flight concept that the plane maker is working on. It is important to note that they're not scrapping this new endeavour. They are going to continue to commit to working through these challenges. They believe that this type of propulsion really has a future within our aviation industry, so therefore they will continue investing not just funds but also resources in terms of human power. Using hydrogen as an energy source for aviation remains a focus Airbus wants to advance. It also wants its next commercial aircraft to actually be a game changer, offering not just, say, minimal 10% improvements, but colossal improvements over the now considered next-gen aircraft, whether that is your A320neo family upwards to the A350. That next plane really has to hit. However, developing hydrogen technologies, it's complicated, primarily due to the persistent need for high-end collaborative efforts between the best minds on our planet. Apart from collaborating, the program requires some pretty hefty investment to continue on a regular basis. Airbus does recognise the need for investment, but is also very much aware that this remains a challenge that they must overcome. So much focus has been placed on investing in this program because of the long-term benefits that Airbus feels they will feel moving forward. The plane maker was never looking to develop a 300-seater hydrogen-powered plane right off the bat. It rather wanted to build its way up in a more modest manner, and that is why we are seeing with all your sustainable flying aircraft that are emerging from main manufacturers such as Airbus and Boeing, and even maybe third-party emerging companies. They are definitely starting off small and attempting to work their way up, and there are challenges in the adoption of these technologies on just small aircraft, let alone a plane that, say, later down the line would look to seat 300 or so. While some argue that hydrogen-powered planes are the way forward for the manufacturer, like with any endeavour, there are certainly others that are skeptical about the adoption and the genuine improvements and just how much sustainability this will actually offer. Airbus, however, feels that it is responsible for leading the adoption of hydrogen-powered aircraft, Europe to really take a leading role in making this happen. Despite talk of fresh delays to Airbus's new era of travel, you do really have to feel that the plane maker would be reasonably comfortable that it has greater stability business-wide than its counterpart Boeing. Why is this worth mentioning? There is so much focus on chasing that next commercial airliner. What is it going to be? Who is going to get there first? And what is the product that is really going to be put on offer? Where Airbus has been able to invest a reasonable amount of resources and is going to continue doing so, Boeing has been forced to backtrack and divert its engineers away to focus on its current commercial airplane division. Now, that is not to say that Airbus doesn't have its issues. As touched on here on the channel, you've got A350 delays. The A220 program still has a few niggles in terms of profitability here and there. However, deep-rooted, their problems are not the same of the plane maker, so therefore they can invest more funds and resources into really powering the new gen of fleet. Despite this, Boeing and NASA are of course studying that X-66A, focusing on implementing a truss-braced wing design for prospective adoption on a commercial airliner. This remains a focus, but you may recall that Boeing had already announced it would be diverting engineers away from this program to focus on existing ones, and NASA would really look to take up the bulk load of the work for the moment. Chasing that new era of flight remains a current focus for all manufacturers. While it isn't necessarily a race to get there first, as you have to make sure you're doing everything in a calculated manner, there is certainly emphasis placed on continuing to advance for the greater good and trying to one-up on your competitor for that valuable market share. And we've already seen time and time again that if a manufacturer can get there, say, 3 or 4 years ahead of its competitor, the staggering difference in terms of the adoption of that said plane will be more than noticeable, and that's big for Boeing. They've struggled in the 2020s. They can't afford to struggle next decade either. Their finances already very much under pressure. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Do you believe, based on what we know, hydrogen-powered aircraft are the way forward? What are your thoughts on the delays? Do you think we will actually see any widespread adoption? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. Thank you very much for tuning in. Take care, be safe, and I will see you tomorrow. And we'll fly.